Frank and his father were standing in the yard with my mother and stepfather when I came out. As I was getting ready to get in the car, I rifled my hands through my pockets and was unable to detect the presence of the folded up $20 bill. Where could it be? My relatives started to help me look, and all of us roamed the yard looking like the nutty people we were. And after much fret, and after nearly giving up in great despair, my uncle offered me a $20 bill from his wallet. I took it and was very close to tears and total mental collapse. When I put the bill in my pocket, I found the original bill and pulled them both out in victory. And a gust of wind took them from my hand. The bills were blowing across the yard, and I chased one that stayed just out of reach, while my relatives let the other get away. I hastily got into the car. I started it up and drove away like a man with a purpose and a life. I had to pee and got gas. So I stopped at a gas station on the way. While I was there, I bought a pack of smokes and left them on the counter when I exited the store and went back for them and forgot to pee. As I was pulling up in her driveway... It's a true story, ladies and gentlemen. It's unfortunate, but it's true. As I was pulling up in her driveway, I was in several states of extreme discomfort. When I walked into Kathy's little apartment, I was confronted with Kathy's little sister. Kathy was 29 and her sister was 19. I sat down uncomfortably and did not mention the great urgency I had to pee because I nervously believed it would have been bad manners. And I had the chance at her house and the gas station. Now I have this whole sister thing to deal with. I wonder how many Broadway actors have felt real stage fright. I wanted to go home. Things were quiet at home, and I could take an unfettered pee. But here in this strange place with these weird, strange women, unfettered would not be allowed to enter the mind. On guard and ready for the beast, whatever form it took, was the only thing I felt. After a while, the sister decided to go to bed. Kathy got up and picked up a book from the counter. She handed it to me and said, "Read this page," where the bookmark was, and walked into a room down the hall. Oh, God, I was so glad to be alone. Of all things, I had a book to take my mind off of current events. Yeah, I opened up the book to the page and began to read as the sister offered her final goodnight and shut her bedroom door. You see, I'd been reading Mark Twain and some John Steinbeck, and let me tell you, this book was neither of those. Whoa. The words on the page made reference to a young hot couple writhing around in their undies. I was unimpressed with the style. I gleaned no intellectual, introspective, philosophical meanings at all. When she came out of the room wearing a very delicate nightgown, I figured that meant our date was over. But, I wanted to tell her to read some Mark Twain before I left, because the stuff she was reading was fluff. True story. True story. It's unfortunate, but true. She sat down beside me and took my hand and asked what I thought. I hum-hawed around about the characters, wondering if I had missed some hidden meaning, while feeling certain that the book was too simple to contain hidden meanings of any kind. She let go of my hand and tousled my hair, and then she asked me what else I thought. I was not aware of any other thoughts to think, and was at a complete loss with an empty brain. I was nervous, and it did not help when Kathy laid down on the couch and used my lap for a pillow. I thought our date was over since she put on her nightgown, so her head in my lap made no sense at all. I felt only nervous, uncertain confusion. When she closed her eyes, I wondered how long she was planning to be asleep. There she was. And it began to dawn on me very slowly that the pretty face looked very nice and serene laying in my lap. Well, suddenly an urgent thought struck me that as a man who had a pretty face so close, I should be doing something. But what I could do that would not be inappropriate, I had no idea. Then I thought that maybe, if I phrased it the right way, maybe, somehow, I might be able to kiss this girl. But how to approach a question like that without disturbing the moment? I mulled this over for quite some time. Then I came up with a brilliant, although risky plan. The first part of the plan was to run my fingers through her hair. I realized that there was a chance that she would leap up and ask me who the hell I thought I was touching her like that. I also tried to calculate the chance of getting smacked and figured the odds were about 60-40 that I would indeed get smacked. The first part of the plan brought no reaction, which actually creeped me out. Because I was going to base my next move on the reaction I got. I had not even considered the possibility of no reaction. I was back to square one again. So I mulled this non-development over for quite a while. Unfortunately for me, I would have to bring out the big guns because my first plan sucked and gave no results. I always hated it when it came down to this. I tried to take some solace in the phrase, you know, a man's got to do what a man's got to do. I just wish there was some other way. It was a shame to have to go there. There was clearly no other choice. I was going to have to ask her out loud if I could kiss her. Why had it come to this? Couldn't there be some other way? Ah, man. What about writing her a poem about kissing? Well, I did not have a pencil, and asking her for one would disturb the moment. Man, how to ask for a kiss without seeming to ask for it so I could avoid getting smacked. I was not sure how inappropriate a kiss would be in her mind. At best, most men would yell, "Incoming!" before their lips landed on target. In this case, it was me, in some pitiful state of mind, unable to function. Finally, I took a deep breath and mentioned my intention. Again, I got no reaction at all. I think the lips may have sort of puckered, but who knew what that was? Now I was just sitting in the quiet room with a girl who may have gone to sleep. After a while, I asked again, and again I got no response, except for some lip movement, and I still wondered what that was about. So after a little more time passed, I asked if she heard me. Suddenly a hand grabbed the hair on the back of my head, and she had not even yelled, "Incoming!" before she brought my face to hers and planted one I will remember for quite some time. The next half hour went very well indeed. And then I was in great pain. You see, I had to pee about 7 hours ago. Now it was a dire medical emergency. If it wasn't one thing, it was another. An ordinary person would not think twice about such things. I was not ordinary, and my thought was that the use of the bathroom would disturb the moment and wake up the sister. So I did not. My fears began to focus on not wanting to wake the sister, so in great discomfort, when I was asked if I would like to stay the night, I got ready for bed, wondering if I would die of pain, and decided next day, when the sister was awake, for blessed relief.
Blessed relief. Did I hear you say that?
7 hours. 7 hours. I'm telling you what, man. Supersedes all. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
During the night, at a critical stage in our new relationship, I said, "Oh, God!" and God, bed. I tiptoed to the bedroom door, stubbed my toe, and reached out to lean on the wall. Fell against the nightstand with a tremendous thud. Every item was knocked off. And I was laying on the floor. So far, my date was going well, I thought. Neighbors probably heard me in the bathroom that night. I must say I slept very well. Next morning, Kathy and I went to breakfast. I ordered 3 eggs, ham. The food came. I eagerly cut a piece of ham and put it in my mouth. Broke out in a cold sweat and couldn't I excused myself and went to the bathroom, run cold face. I was hot and shivering, and finally went back to sitting there, knowing for a fact that all of the people in the restaurant were looking at my sweaty, clammy, thinking that I was dying. It's lucky that I didn't go to the hospital that night. But that is a rendition, ladies and gentlemen. That's what happens on an anxiety attack. You can take a normal event, will become an absolute horrific thing. But that story, Kathy, and needless to say, short-lived. Thank you for coming. Enjoy Highland Keep. It's smoky in here, which is I must be here.
Smoke effects by Max.
Yes. Have a good night, lady. Yes. Have a good night.
Good job, Max.